Florida officials doubling down on their mission to find missing children with Operation Home for the Holidays, rescuing 122 kids in what is being called the largest child recovery operation in U.S. history. Joining me now with the details, Florida Attorney General James Othmeyer. AG, this is a beautiful story, the fact that these 122 souls have been rescued, but it is disgusting what people do to children. What can you tell us about this operation?
Sure. Well, here in Florida, protecting our kids, keeping them safe, that is mission number one. So today's announcement is great. It's been an honor to support our state law enforcement and really the leadership of the U.S. Marshals under Marshal William Berger. They've done a great job rescuing these kids. They range in ages from 17 all the way down to 2 years old, and many of them have been through the unthinkable. They've been exploited, they've been endangered, and in the worst of cases, they've been physically, sexually abused. Here in Florida, our prosecutors
kudos to everyone involved in this operation down in Florida to bring home, as they're saying, 122 missing children. 122 missing children. So this is the Florida Attorney General speaking on the operation, and wow, like one is too many, but 122 is that's just so wild to me. And I'm not really sure why I think it's so wild, because like if you walk into any Walmart, any type of store, like a retail store, like the major ones, you see missing posters and stuff like that. I specifically know Walmart has those posters up here in my state, and from 17 down to 2 years old, y'all. This is it's pretty heavy. But again, kudos to everyone that was a part of this operation. I know it's going to take time to find homes for certain kids who didn't have homes, and I know that they're going to have a long road to recovery from trauma, but hopefully they're able to recover and at some point have a normal life. I'm gonna let this play a little bit, get a little bit more information, and then continue with my thoughts.
If you hurt our kids, we will go after you to the absolute fullest. We will lock you up for as long as possible, and where eligible, we will seek the death penalty.
How did you hunt down these child predators?
It takes a coordinated effort working across dozens of agencies, from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to juvenile justice, children and families, our local police departments. We work together, many undercover, working across the state using technology to find these kids that were previously reported missing. The largest U.S. child rescue operation in history. We'll stay at it. We're going to get these kids the care and therapy and treatment they need to get them back on the road to recovery.
I know in previous operations, many of the perpetrators were here illegally. Was that the case in this latest operation?
Details are still coming out. I'm not aware of that at this point, but I will say every time we do child predator stings, it seems like around 20% or so are people that are in the country illegally. It shows how much crime and trafficking and drug abuse has really moved over the southern border. I'm glad the southern border is finally closed.
Again, another example of why we want to make sure we stand on top of getting people who are here illegally out of the country. These people will, have motives to traffic your children, to do, the unthinkable to the kids. And this is just another example. So, it's protests and all this and that. And I'm just like, do people hear these type of stories? do people really pay attention to these type of stories, or they just only think with one side of their brain to only see things one way? They don't really use the full capacity of their brain to think like, you know, maybe these people aren't the best type of people if they're here, if they're doing these, heinous acts like kidnapping kids, trafficking them, um, beating people across the head with hammers, um, you know, committing SA and murder. It's been plenty of stories, and a lot of them have been dealing with people who are here illegally. So, you know, it's very unfortunate that children are being targeted, and we have to protect our children. Even if they're like running away and stuff like that, if they are found, you have to change it up. Maybe they ran away for a certain reason or something like that. I'm not too sure about that because when I was a kid, I never had the sense or the want to ever run away from home because I knew even if things were bad, they could be worse. And if I'm a child running away from home, where I'm gonna go? You're gonna be out on the street, and then you're gonna 9 times out of 10 end up kidnapped or in befriending someone you shouldn't be befriending and end up in a situation to where you're being trafficked. So it's very serious out here, and I hope everyone is able to see these type of stories. That's why I wanted to do a response to this story right here, do a reaction video to this story because it's very important. It's very important, and it's a priority. Should be a priority for everyone. Like this is just in Florida. This is just one state. So just imagine out of all the states that we have here in the United States of how many missing children there are, especially around places where prostitution and things like that are very prevalent. But sex work goes on everywhere. So let's see what else he has to say about the operation.
But where you traffic kids in Florida, you will be held accountable to the fullest.
Where do these children go now? Are they reunited with families? Do they go into the system? What happens next?
That's the question, right? I mean, these kids, many of them are runaways. A lot of them have been exploited, some coming out of the foster care program. Now's the real question for state leaders. We've got to give them the love, the treatment, the care they need. We've got to find them loving homes that are going to support them and not continue to endanger them. So you better believe our state leaders are going to be working on that as we rescue these kids. That's not the end. That's truly just the beginning. They need our prayers. They need our love. They need to be set up for success.
And hopefully other states will follow. Hopefully, because I know they have divisions within law enforcement that specifically work on these type of things, who do as much due diligence as they can. So hopefully they're able to really put in the work, and we hear more about operations like this all across the United States. Um, it's very very sad. Some people have a very very sick mind. Some people have very very ill intentions, and a lot of them need to be in jail or definitely need to receive the death penalty, as the Florida Attorney General was just stating there. But I'm gonna go ahead and close out. If you like my content, definitely make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you turn on your notifications so that you get a notification when I do drop these videos. And once again, this is Justin Paul. Peace.